Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and this video is brought to you by the online BBallBreakdown membership. Click the first link in the description below to learn more and join. By now, we're familiar with Damian Lillard's late game heroics in the regular season, and we've also seen him end a series in the playoffs with a catch-and-shoot three. But nothing could have prepared us for the fireworks we were treated to last night, as the Trailblazers had to overcome a 15-point lead midway through the fourth, culminating in perhaps the greatest postseason shot the NBA has ever seen. One storyline we're all acquainted with is Damian Lillard versus Russell Westbrook, and by screening, they knew Russ would have to guard Dame. He gets right to the front of the rim and even hits this one on the way down. Russ, on the other hand, put on his afterburners, never controls his speed, and flips it up and off the rim. When you miss a layup, the least you can do is hustle back. The Blazers get right down the floor, find Seth Curry, who lights it up to give Portland its first lead. To give you an idea of how hot Dame was in getting his team back in the game, check this step into a handoff from 37 feet. And it's this shot that is very eerily similar to the shot we'll see at the end of the game. And to seal in his practice, he just buries a step-back three, getting almost no separation from the defender, but it just doesn't matter. And that brings us to the fourth quarter, and how the Thunder built a 15-point lead in short order. In this wild sequence, the ball and bodies bounce around a bit, leaving Seth Curry dragging behind, which puts him in the perfect position to deflect this pass to Russ. Somehow it goes right to Schroeder. Curry follows the ball for some reason even though CJ was there, and it gives Russ a wide open three ball. He hops into the shot, good rhythm, and splash. With Zach Collins falling to the ground, his teammates had to cover for him getting back, which meant his man was Schroeder. Instead, he runs down into the paint, and it's an easy pass and an open shot that builds the lead to 8. Down 10, Dame tries a hero shot with the defender running at him, and Russ grabs the rebound and hits Grant in stride with a beautiful 75-foot pass right on the money. With a 12-point lead, they try to run a 1-2 pick and roll, and Russ simply levels Seth Curry, but the show must go on. Schroeder gets CJ in the air, sidestep, and the lead is now 15. But the Blazers started to get some life back into their offense as Dennis takes the long route in order to defend the pick and roll, and watch how two men step up to stop the penetration. Problem is, you only need one, leaving the dump-off pass open for a dunk. With the clock about to expire, Paul George had to quick release this three, and it gave Dame the same opportunity that Russ had a few minutes ago as he fires a pass to Harkless, who was leaking out for a dunk. Still up 11 with 6 minutes to go, the Thunder should take time off the clock. Instead, Russ takes off in a mad dash into the lane, loses the handle, and in his rush ends up losing out of bounds in a very careless way. Can you hear me shaking my head? The Blazers had success forcing switches and posting Cantor up on the mismatch. Lillard decides he's not waiting for that, so he drives back to the middle, draws two defenders even though it was supposed to be one, and a heads-up play to see Harkless open for the easy shot. This time, Portland forces Russ to guard Cantor off the switch. It was going okay for the smaller guard until he decides to reach in and take himself out of position, giving up the score. Russ barely misses his bread and butter shot, the mid-range pull-up. Dame takes it almost personal and just abuses Schroeder in the left wing, rising up for a crucial three ball to cut the lead to 5. There appears to be a little confusion as to what to run until Russ hands off to George. As the ball screener rolls hard, CJ has to get close enough to touch him, and while I'm sure everyone in the building was happy to give Russ a three-point shot, he just rises up and buries it to increase the lead to 8. This switch of Russ on Cantor was way too easy, and it put the whole defense under a lot of duress. As soon as Cantor puts the ball on the ground, George doubles. Ferguson can't keep Harkless out of the middle on the cut, nice pass, and Harkless ultimately gets 2 free throws for the effort. Give Harkless credit, he nailed 4 very important free throws down the stretch. Paul George again attacks Cantor in the pick and roll, and somehow Cantor avoids excessive contact, pressures the ball nicely, but PG just wills the ball up and over. Some controversy arose on this foul call. The trail referee had to travel, but the slot sees that Aminu gave him a little push. And this is another possession the Thunder can look to and kick themselves fairly hard. Up 6 with under 2 minutes, it's good clock management to take your time and attack with around 9 seconds on the clock. Instead, Russ just bolts to the basket with 14 on the clock. CJ rides him along the lane, Dame steps in, gets set, and takes the charge. When Lillard passes to CJ, it catches Russ completely off guard. He's a step behind when CJ does an excellent split on the catch and goes right by him. The crossover into floater was a really nice example of great skill. CJ again is tasked with guarding Russell Westbrook. He gets screened off, but as he retreats, he sees Russ barreling up behind him. He steps up to stop the penetration. He then turns to contest this shot with verticality, forcing the miss. And when Harkless grabs the rebound, Russ foolishly crashes into him, doing the one thing OKC couldn't afford to do: stop the clock and give the Blazers chances to score. The lead is down to 2, and PG runs a simple pick and roll out top. It just doesn't make sense that George would try to split this, and Seth Curry knocks it away and then takes it away. Down 2, Portland is looking for the quickest, best shot they can manufacture, and CJ takes it upon himself to isolate on PG when Ferguson is simply not going to allow Dame to catch it. He calmly hits him with the crossover, pulls up, and nails the 20-footer right in Paul George's eye. Tie game. This became a battle of wills, and watch CJ continually go underneath the screen while guarding Russ, so the screen gets reset even lower. With the handoff to George, he gets an easy foul line jumper and the perfect 2-for-1 to finish off the game. Did I say perfect 2-for-1? That was only the case if they could at least play defense for 12 seconds. But Dame blows right by Schroeder, rises up, and somehow twists this into the basket, tying the game, and guess what? Now they're going to get the ball back. With a tie game, they give the ball to Russ to create. One thing we know is that refs tend to swallow their whistles in this end-of-game situation. But still, Aminu is in perfect position, Russ flies into him out of control, and almost hits this shot anyway. He went way too early, by the way, and now it gives Portland a ton of time to come down and look for a shot. But of course, it was Dame time, and that meant he was going to work his magic. After running the clock down under 5, it looked like Dame wasn't going to get anything done. But his quick elevation into the shot was so audacious, and the ball hurtling to the rim put a lump in all our throats as the clock ticked to 0 and the ball dropped clean through for the series-winning bucket. If it wasn't clear before, it should be clear now that Damian Lillard won his matchup with Russell Westbrook over the course of the series. And now that Dame is moving on and Russ is going home, it might spark the self-reflection needed by Westbrook in order to identify his weaknesses and improve them. Having a point guard that can shoot from as deep as Lillard can is a big advantage, and one that became even more evident as each game in this series went by. Shots like this simply don't happen. We've seen Michael Jordan hit the shot in the finals, and Dame himself did something similar against Houston a few years earlier. Don't forget Kyrie's step-back 3, but there were still 50 seconds on the clock when he hit it, so I don't think it packed quite the same punch. There is no question this shot is going to go down as one of the most clutch heaves of all time. And after all the trash talk between these two teams died down, it was Damian Lillard who got the last word. Sports fans, Coach Nick again, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I've got a new online basketball membership where I share with you the best of what NBA teams are doing to help you be more successful on the court. Click the first link in the description or the pinned comment below to learn more. And don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know how you feel about today's video. Check your settings to make sure you get notified each time we drop a new one. After all, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in?